Yes, welcome everyone. Cannabis News. I'm your host, Joe Klare. It's October 17th, 2019. The show, as always, is presented to you by the Marijuana Times. MarijuanaTimes.org is where you can find us. You can also find this show, of course, on YouTube. Search the Marijuana Times there. If you want the audio version, search it on Apple Podcasts. Today, we're talking about a look at legalization in Nevada and how things are going out there. Also, some news out of Chicago when it comes to recreational marijuana shops. And today is the one-year anniversary, of course, of Canada enacting adult-use marijuana legalization. Another inaction is being taken today. Pardon the pun, but it is what it is. That's what you pay me the big bucks for. Those perfect broadcasting turns of phrase. It's incredible stuff. Anyway, all of that is coming up. But first, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Grow safe and poison-free. Don't use harmful chemicals on what you are growing. You know the drill. Be regulatory compliant. Don't use banned pesticides. Don't do bad things. Do good things. Don't put bad things on your plants. Put good things on your plants. That's right. Natureside. Nature-side.com. Proud sponsor of Cannabis News. Thank you, Natureside. Anyway, continuing. This first story. clear my throat a little bit. My nose, and then to turn off the mic. Very professional. Again, the professionalism that is flowing just so far in the first couple minutes of the show is just incredible. As I said, this first story by yours truly. At MarijuanaTimes.org, a look at how legalization is going in Nevada. I talked to Madison Seglabine, the executive director for both the Las Vegas and Nevada chapters of NORML. She told the Marijuana Times, quote, Nevada hit the ground running in 2017 with adult use, and nothing has slowed down since. We rolled out the program extremely quickly, adopted amazing testing standards, and have great product availability overall. For consumers, there have been challenges, though. The cost of product in Las Vegas is some of the highest in the nation and is then subject to a high tax rate also. For patients, this has been a real problem, leading many back to the street market. Many things have transpired since legalization, especially when it comes to tax revenue and business development. But Nevada consumers want to make sure that integrity is maintained by these cannabis businesses. We also talked a little bit about tourism and how big cannabis is going to be for tourism in the coming years. Obviously, tens of millions of people come through Southern Nevada every year. She said that obviously social use areas, there's a social use area that opened recently on a Native American reservation, but for them to be available in a place like Las Vegas and stuff like that is going to be important for tourists who come. Of course, the most hotels they can't smoke or use cannabis in vapor form or whatever. And if there's no social use and there's no public use, then it creates a problem for a state that's heavy in tourism. So she said that needs to be addressed, and hopefully it will be very soon. But overall, things are going pretty smoothly in Nevada, especially when you compare their experience with rolling out adult use legalization with other states who legalized at the same time. I'm looking at you, Maine. Things have been delayed just a little bit. This next story from the Chicago Sun-Times. City Council okays rules for recreational pot sales despite lingering minority ownership issues. Mayor Lori Lightfoot's plan to establish zoning ground rules for the sale of recreational marijuana in Chicago cleared the city council despite lingering demands for minority ownership. The city council's 20-member Black Caucus had threatened to hold up the ordinance over concerns that African Americans have, quote, zero representation, end quote, among the owners of the 11 medical marijuana dispensaries that would get a running start when recreational weed sales begin January 11th. They would be allowed to immediately pivot to recreational marijuana sales during the first year of legalization and have the exclusive right to open a second location until late spring when new businesses would finally get a chance to bid. It's a hard-earned victory for Lightfoot, a vote of 40 to 10, rather. Lightfoot's top aides lobbied hard to avoid a delay that could cost the city sorely needed revenue. This is a good day for Chicago, Lightfoot said from the rostrum. The mayor says she sympathizes with the demand for minority ownership and told aldermen, I will be your partner in seeking redress from the Illinois General Assembly. So basically they got the zoning rules out of the way, so when things start, they can be up and running and start rolling in that revenue from shops opening up in Chicago, and then they'll address the minority ownership issue at a later date. So we'll see how things roll out. Obviously, January 1st in Illinois is going to be big. Illinois is a huge market when it comes to adult use legalization. Chicago itself, being one of the biggest cities in the United States, will be a huge market for adult use marijuana. We'll follow that story closely, obviously, as we do all stories. I'm following all of them very closely, simultaneously, even as we speak. I mean, the internet helps with that, but no, mostly it's me. my amazing ability at recall and research. But the internet is slightly helpful. This last story is from Fool.com, the Motley Fool. Canada legalizes marijuana derivatives today. 6 things you need to know. 1 year ago, on October 17, 2018, Canada lifted the curtain on 9 decades of recreational cannabis prohibition and allowed for the legal sales of adult-use marijuana. Today, October 17, 2019, our neighbor to the north will move forward with the next phase of marijuana legalization process, affably known as Legalization 2.0. Namely, the regulations concerning derivative pot products will officially take effect, derivatives being non-dried flower products such as edibles, cannabis-infused beverages, vapes, concentrates, and topicals. Some of the things they think you should need to know. There's going to be pretty much a delayed product launch. Health Canada has been clear it's going to take at least a good 2 months before sufficient inventory is built up for these products to appear in licensed dispensaries. Alcohol-based cannabis-infused beverages are still not legal. Derivatives are the wave of the future. According to the Cohen Group, half of all marijuana sales in a mature U.S. market are expected to come from derivative products. And according to the Fool, it's pretty safe to infer that similar percentages will likely be seen in Canada. Other things you need to know, at least they think you need to know. Margins are considerably better for dried flower. This means the dispensaries, the retail shops, whatever, will want you to buy these more than, the dried flower. Supply issues are expected to wreak havoc for many quarters to come. Regulatory agency Health Canada entered the year with more than 800 cultivation and sale license applications on its desk for review. Even with mid-year changes to cultivation license application process, to the license application process, it's going to take a while to work through this enormous backlog. I don't know. I don't get that. That's literally what they have to do. Just do it. And they say Health Canada on its desk, like it's just one person at a desk working on all these applications. It's not. It's a huge bureaucratic regulatory agency with an excessive amount of people. Take some of those people and get them working on this. Like, we create regulations. That's what we do. We create licenses, but we're backlogged on doing the thing we do. Well, do it better. Do it better. You see? Anyway. Also, the Fool says it promises to be a fiercely competitive space. So we'll see what happens in Canada. But if you're in Canada and you're expecting to run out to a store and get a pot brownie or whatever, no. Hold your horses there, bucko. It's not. You have to wait a little while. We'll keep you updated on that story, of course, as well, and kind of let you know if we can, if there's actual products you can buy in Canada in a couple months. Make sure you check us out here 5 days a week. Cannabis News, marijuanatimes.org. You can find us there, of course. A lot of great articles there as well. Thank you to Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Thanks to all of you who use this show to spread the truth about cannabis. Please continue to do so with the sharing and the liking and the commenting and all of that. And click that little notification bell on YouTube if you want to know when a new episode of Cannabis News has dropped. Thanks for watching and listening today. We'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.